You've probably studied English grammar, hooray! But you might still make these mistakes when speaking English. Today, let's fix that. Hello, it's Keith from the Keith Speaking Academy. Now, many teachers say, listen, don't worry about the grammar. The important thing is just communication. Partly true. Yes and no. Too many grammar mistakes and your communication breaks down. Also, if you're taking IELTS, and IELTS speaking in particular, using correct grammar is really important. If you're making these grammar mistakes, the examiner will lower your score. And I know, students say to me, I know, I study this many times. Present simple, third person singular, use S. My teacher tell me many times. The problem is you may know the grammar, but you're not using it when you're speaking. So today, let's look at 10 common, small, noticeable mistakes, and let me show you how to fix them. Let's do it. Right, mistake number 1. Let's see if you can spot it.
I have a brother who lives in Manchester, and he's older than me, and he works in a bank.
Right, did you spot it? So, this is what they said, and this is what they should have said. I have a brother who lives in Manchester, and he's older than me, and he works in a bank. Okay, it's the present simple tense, third person, he, she, and it takes S or ES. The problem is a lot of students don't pronounce it, and it's a big mistake. It really will be very noticeable to the IELTS examiner and bring your score down. How do you fix it? Very simple. When you're practicing alone, over-exaggerate the S sound, right? Many students just go, he works, he plays, and you can't hear the S. So do this. He works. Keep it going for 2 or 3 seconds. When you're practicing, he plays in a band. He works in a bank. He watches television too much. Okay? Practice like that. Just think of somebody in your family and describe them practicing this long S. The other thing to do is if the next word begins with a vowel, we native speakers will often link it. And that's where you notice the S. He works in a bank. In a bank. He works in a bank. He works alone. Alone. He works on Saturdays. On Saturdays. He works on Saturdays. So making that link also shows the world and the examiner that you are pronouncing the S. Practice like this and you'll make big progress. Not only knowing the grammar, but using it. And that is how you get a better score in your IELTS speaking. Let's move on. Right, here is mistake number 2. Let's see if you can spot it.
Yesterday, I went to visit my friend in London. I leave at 6 in the morning, take the train, and arrived around 9 a.m.
Right, did you spot it? Okay, so this is what they said. And this is what they should have said. Yesterday, I went to visit my friend in London. I left at 6 in the morning, took the train and arrived around 9 a.m. The problem is the person is mixing tenses. They're going from the past to the present and back to the past. And when you're telling a series of events like this, you need to stay in the past tense. Simple as that. Now, how do you fix this? First of all, be really clear about how to pronounce the past tense. There are 3 sounds, right? It can be a d, as in played. It can be a t, as in cooked. Or it can be a id, as in departed. There are 3 different sounds you need to practice. There's a video here giving you all the details. You can go and watch it later and practice. The other thing to do is to make a list of habits that you have and then transpose them into the past using a time reference. For example, I have some habits. I play the violin, I cook on the weekends, and then I put in the past with a time frame. So I play the violin. I played the violin yesterday. I cook on the weekends. I cooked last weekend and I made lasagna. Okay? So you're practicing it and building sentences that are true about you. So first, be clear about the pronunciation. Second, practice transposing like this. Next, mistake coming up. Okay, mistake number 3. See if you can spot it.
I like Santander more than London. It's more quiet and the weather is better.
All right, did you get it? This is what they said. And what they should have said is this. I like Santander more than London. It's quieter and the weather is better. Not more quiet. It's quieter. This is a mistake with comparatives. When you're comparing 2 things with an adjective of 1 syllable, you add er. Quiet, quieter. If the adjectives have 2 or 3 or more syllables, then you use more interesting, more beautiful, more economic. But if it's 1 syllable, it's er. Okay? So instead of tall, oh, it's more tall. No, it's taller. Oh, your car is fast. But mine is more faster? No, faster. My car is faster. How do you get round this? It is a question of practice. You can practice writing, but I suggest practice speaking as well. Let me give you a nice, simple practice activity. Okay, I want you to compare you with me. Very simple, right? Here are 6 adjectives. Tall, short, old, young, fat, slim. And just compare yourself. For example, I am taller than you. And you are shorter than me. I don't know that, but listen, I'm 1.73 m. So you tell me. I'm 57 years old and I'm pretty slim. So anyway, practice some examples. For the moment, let's look at the next mistake. Right, mistake number 4. Let's see if you can spot it.
I like living in a village more because there are less people here, at least compared to London.
Interesting. Me too. I like living in a village more. So this is what they said. And this is what they should have said. I like living in a village more because there are fewer people here, at least compared to London. Not less people, fewer people, because here we use less with uncountable nouns, right? But if the noun, like people, is countable, you can count people, right? 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. If you can count them, then it's fewer. There are fewer people here, okay? So less with uncountable nouns like water, air, coffee, traffic. You can't count them. Fewer with countable nouns like people, cars, cups of coffee. You can count those, okay? So this is the key to correcting this mistake, is when you're practicing and thinking about it, just think, can I count this, right? If it's rice, you can't count rice. Rice? 2 rice? No. You can count grains of rice, but not rice. So it's less rice. But if you're counting grains of rice, then fewer grains of rice. The other thing to do is generally memorize the most common confusions. And I think the 3 common ones are, it should be fewer people, fewer cars, fewer tasks, because all of these are countable. If you solve this problem, you'll make fewer mistakes. Got it? Let's move on. Right, mistake number 5, and this is a tricky one, so listen very carefully. Let's see.
I don't know, where is my book? Can you help me?
Did you get it? This is what they said. And what should they have said? I don't know where my book is. Can you help me? Because it's an embedded question. It's not a direct question. The direct question is, where is my book? But if you have a phrase or a clause before that, I don't know where. Do you know where? Then it changes to, I don't know where my book is. The subject comes before the verb. My book comes before is. I don't know where my book is. Do you know where my book is? It's like an inversion, right? For embedded questions. So there's no question mark because it's not really a question. There are many kinds of embedded questions. The most common ones are, I don't know where. Do you know where? I have no idea where. Okay. Of course, you can use this with any question word. Where, how, when, what. Okay. How do you fix this? I think the best thing you can do is to practice transposing. So take a question word like where and just make a list, 3 or 4 questions. Ask yourself the question. Where is the shop? Where is my book? Where is the bank? And then transpose asking someone, do you know where the bank is? Do you know where my book is? Okay. Practice that transposing and it'll start to hardwire your brain to get it right. Practice with different question words. How, when, why, what, and so on. Great. Let's move on. Now, we've said that grammar is important. It's important for communication and for IELTS, right? But here's another very good question for you is, how can you study grammar in such a way so that when you speak English, you use it correctly, right? How can you automate your grammar? And I think one way to do that is to make the study and practice together into one thing. And I invented a thing years ago called the Fluency Gym. And the Fluency Gym is like where you're developing your muscles, your grammar muscles, and your mouth muscles so that you're speaking cognitive and physical at the same time. You can check it out here. There's a free video here that shows how it works. And if you like it, go and practice more. I've actually got a whole course based on this called the Fluent Grammar course. There's a link down below. You can check it out. And if you like it, go and do it. And it'll really help you automate your grammar so you speak it out correctly. Right now, let's find out some more mistakes you might be making. Right, here we are. Let's see if you can spot mistake number 6.
People can do more to help environment. It's not just government that should take action.
Okay, so this is what they said. And this is what they should have said. People can do more to help the environment. It's not just the government that should take action. The problem here is that they need the article the because we're talking about specific entities. Environment is the environment because it's a specific thing. Government, it's a specific government, the government. So we must have the, okay? I think it's important here, what you need to do is to learn the common abstract ideas that take the. For example, the environment, the economy, the law, the truth, the ecosystem. Also, institutions take the, like the army, the police, the media. Notice, however, we say social media, not the, okay? So it's really important to learn these, memorize them, but also then try doing gap fills. Make yourself a gap fill, like you were the teacher. So write out some sentences about these things. The environment is important and we must look after it. The economy is important because... And then delete the environment, the economy, just put a line, mix all the sentences up, go back and read them aloud, putting in the correct word. And it just gets you thinking and gets you saying the environment, the economy in context whilst you're thinking. And that is really going to help you. So practice that. Not now, because right now we're going to go to the next mistake. Okay, let's have a look at mistake number 7. And for this one, we're going to visit France. Maybe. Let's have a look.
If I will go to Paris, I will definitely visit the Eiffel Tower.
Right, well, the Eiffel Tower is beautiful. Did you spot the mistake? This is what they said. And what it should be is, if I go to Paris, I will definitely visit the Eiffel Tower. Although it's a future possibility, in English, the if clause takes the present, and then the next clause takes the future. I will definitely go. Okay, it's a first conditional expressing this idea of future possibility. It's often different structures in different languages. But in English, if I go to Paris, I will eat croissant or whatever. Okay, the way to fix this is basically think about 5 things that might happen tomorrow. It might rain. Oh, my friend might visit tomorrow, actually. Make a list of 5 and then make 5 first conditional sentences about a future possibility, right? If that happens. So you'd be saying, it might rain tomorrow. If it rains tomorrow, I will stay at home. My friend might visit. Well, if my friend visits, we will probably go out for a drink together. And keep practicing this transposing, speaking the answers out loud, making it about your own life and experience. And that's how you'll start to change the mistakes. Great, let's move on. Right, here's number 8. Listen carefully. Let's see.
My teacher gave me an advice, but I didn't follow it. I didn't think it was useful.
Oh, I wonder what the advice was. This is what they said. Did you spot the mistake? Ha, well, it should be, my teacher gave me some advice, but I didn't follow it. I didn't think it was useful. Advice is an uncountable noun. You cannot count advice in English. You can't say 2 advices, 3 advices. It doesn't work. It's uncountable. So we must say some advice. Okay? Of course, it's possible to say a piece of advice and 2 pieces of advice, but advice is one of those uncountable nouns in English. The best thing to fix this is just be very clear about the uncountable nouns that cause confusion. And 3 that you should learn straight away are advice, news, information. You can't count them in English. So it's some advice, some news, some information. Great. Do you know any other uncountable nouns that often cause confusion? Let me know in the comments below if you do. For now, let's swiftly move on. Okay, number 9 is all about dates and places, and it's about me. Can you see the mistake?
I was born on 1967 at Manchester. To be more precise, I was born on August in the 12th.
It's all true, but there are some mistakes here. Did you spot them? This is what they said. Right, what's the mistake? Well, several mistakes. So it should be, I was born in 1967 in Manchester. To be more precise, I was born in August on the 12th. Okay. These are common preposition mistakes that people make. We use in for years, months, and cities. We use on for a specific date. Imagine you're standing on the calendar on the 6th, on the 9th. You're standing on the date. At, we don't use for a city, right? At is used for a specific point or location. At the crossroads, at the hospital, at the bank, at school. Specific locations. Okay, how do you fix this? Well, it is really just practice. A very simple thing you can do, right, is go into a AI search like Gemini, ChatGPT, ask it to make a story with a gap fill using these rules, using in for years, months, and cities, on for dates, at for locations, and ask it to make a story with gap fills. It'll print out a story and it'll give you the answers. It doesn't print it out. It gives you the story, but with the gaps. So you say it out loud, filling in the gaps, and then check your answers. It's easy to do. It's fun. And you creating it actually puts you in control of your learning. It's much more interesting than looking for one already made or one that I've made for you. Make your own. DIY. Do it yourself. Let's go into number 10. Okay, mistake number 10. Now, have you ever made an excuse because you didn't want to go to work? Right. Let's see what happens in this example and try and spot the grammatical mistake.
I must go and see the doctor tomorrow, so I can't come to work.
Sound familiar? Did you spot the mistake? This is what they said. And what they should have said is, I must go and see the doctor tomorrow, so I can't come to work. Right? So here, the mistake is that must is not followed by to. In fact, no modal verb is followed by to. They are always followed by the base verb. Must go, should go, can't go, might go. Always the same, right? The only ones that have to, and they're not really modal verbs, is ought to and need to. But the others, no. Now, the way to remember this, I think, rather than memorizing a rule, modal verbs don't take to, only followed by the base verb, is to think and memorize a memorable example. You can record yourself saying it with a funny voice, make it enjoyable and memorable. For example, I'm so sorry, I must go. Right? I must leave. I must go. I'm having a party. You should come. I'm sorry, I can't come. I'm washing my hair. Right? So make the examples really memorable. And I think memorizing examples is much better than memorizing a rule that you then have to translate into an example. Right. Okay, great. I'm going to go and wash my hair before we finish the video. So there you have it, 10 mistakes you might be making, but hopefully you won't be making in the future. Some ideas about how to fix the mistakes. Summing up, 3 things I think you should take away from this video. Number 1, practice speaking phrases rather than studying and reading. Memorize examples rather than rules. And thirdly, make your own tests. Test yourself, but make your own. 3 great ideas, I hope, to help you fix the problem of these grammatical mistakes. If you've liked the video, give me a like. If you've enjoyed it also and learned something new, subscribe and turn on notifications to find out about new upcoming videos. Let me know which mistake you often make down in the comments below. In the meantime, I'm off for a cup of tea. See you maybe in the next video. Take care, my friend. All the best. Bye-bye.